What up, y'all? Wait until some people, log on so we could talk about this topic. How do you know when to let go? So how's everybody doing out there? Hey, Albert. You always be one of the first ones to log on. I appreciate it. Hey, Reva. Hey, everybody. I'm just going to wait for a few minutes just to let people log on and just kind of get situated so we could delve into this topic on how do you know when to let go. That's difficult for most of us. It's difficult to really know how to, hey Reva, how to hi Byron, how to let go when you really, hey, what's up, Lourdes? How to let go, when you really care about someone. That's a difficult thing to do. It's very difficult. Hey, Tina. Alvin. I'm going to say hey, but I go by Chanel. But it's okay because you're not the only one that called me Nicole. That's cool. It's hard for you to let go, Lourdes. Why do you say that? Why do you say it's hard for you to let go? I really want audience engagement tonight, y'all, because this topic has been like a sore spot for me. Not just like in just like over the course of my adult life, just in relationships in general. Knowing how to let go. That's a difficult thing to do, to let go of someone when you care about them, but you know that the relationship is becoming dysfunctional. You guys are arguing, nobody is listening, and it's difficult to walk away. It's very difficult to walk away from people, that you care about. But I want to talk about how do you know when it's time to let go, because a lot of times we don't know, or we know, but we don't want to be the first one to make that move. Like, typically in situations when you don't want to let go, it's like we're waiting for the other person to do it. We're waiting for the other person to make that first step. I think a lot of times when you're in a relationship where you and that other person, you guys genuinely care for one another, but you know that the relationship is over, or you know that the relationship is borderline dysfunctional, or that the relationship has become dysfunctional, it's difficult to walk away from a person that you love. And so we wait for that other person to we wait for that other person to make the move, or we wait for a situation to happen where it's just so traumatic that we have no other choice but to walk away. And that, we shouldn't allow it to get that far. And I'm guilty of it. Like, you'll be in a situation where we probably should be apart. It's not working out. We've tried. It's not working. And you don't know how to let go. You'll give that person a couple days, and then, give them space, and then somebody will end up calling the other person, and then you're right back in that dysfunctional situation. And this cycle will continue until finally something so traumatic will happen that it will literally sever the two of you. And usually that's God saying enough is enough. He'll frustrate the situation to the extent where you can't return to that person, or you can't go back because it's just so bad. And we shouldn't allow it to get that way, but sometimes we get caught up, or we develop attachments, or certain types of codependency, to other people, and we can't let go. And that's dysfunctional. Lord said, because I have been through a lot. Exactly. I'm trying to let go, then pain for a while, then you free. Right. Sometimes, y'all, it's too painful to let go. I have been in a situation where I know that was the right thing to do. I knew it was right for me to walk away, but when I would try to walk away, it would just absolutely be just too painful. It was almost like, okay, it's just better for us to be together, because when I try to walk away from you, it overwhelms me. The pain overwhelms me. The pain literally takes me out. So I just rather be in this dysfunctional situation because I can't cope by myself, or I can't cope alone, or I don't want to be by myself, or, I want to be in a relationship, so I'm going to settle, for a relationship that I know I have no business being in. And I am so guilty of being in. Hey, Tracy. Hi, Tracy. Tracy, we got to get together now. We ain't seen each other in God knows how long. I don't even think we saw each other this year. What's up, Tanya? So, I want to talk about how do you know when to let go? I'm going to speak from personal experience because, like I said, this is a subject that I know all too well. Usually, I'm the one that has a very difficult time walking away from dysfunctional situations. So I'm going to be transparent, and hopefully you guys will be transparent with me and share, and we could kind of delve in and kind of help one another figure out how to not only, because a lot of us know when to let go, but we don't know how to let go. So just kind of talking about, how do you know when to let go and how to let go? Because it's a difficult thing. We get into situations, a lot of times we don't know what's behind door number 2. So we just kind of just stick with door number 1, right? We don't want to leave what's familiar, what's comfortable. It's almost like, well, I know what I'm getting with you. So, I'll stick with this because I don't know what I'm going to get with the person up the road. Or I'll share, I'm terrified. I think I'm better now. I'm not as afraid now as I was, but just some months ago, I was terrified of meeting someone new. Like, I had a genuine fear of meeting someone new, them learning my quirks, me learning their personality quirks, things about me that I felt like, oh my God, they're not gonna like, or me not wanting to get to know them, or me afraid, oh my God, they're gonna bring a lot of attachments into the situation, or me not embracing the idea of dating. That's like a whole nother topic of just meeting someone new and understanding that when you meet someone new, that person had a life before you came, and so now you got to kind of work through that, like, oh my God, he's gonna be dating other people, or she's gonna be dating other people, and is this something that I really want to be a part of, and do I want to open myself up to? So when all of those crazy thoughts start going through your head, it's easy to stay in a situation that's not healthy, or it's easy to stay in a situation that's dysfunctional because you're like, well, I know what I'm getting, so I could work with this. So let's see. I don't want to overlook anybody's comment tonight because we're going to help each other work through this. George said, you miss one bus, you catch another, but you keep on. George, I wish it was that easy. It's not that easy to catch another bus, George, because you don't know what's out there. I had a situation just recently. I was, and I'll share, I was dating someone from my past, and, we'd known each other for like over 20 years, and I knew him. I was familiar with him. But it got to a point where the relationship was borderline dysfunctional, and it wasn't that we didn't care about one another. We cared for one another deeply, but it got to the point where the trying wasn't even working. It's one thing. I read this quote the other day. It says, how do you know when to walk away? And it's like when two people stop trying, or even worse, when trying doesn't work anymore. And I think in our particular situation, trying wasn't even working. Like we argued all the time, and I knew that I was settling. I knew that this person was not right for me, but he was my friend, and that was important. And he was familiar to me, even though I knew I wasn't getting everything that I wanted in a relationship. I still chose to settle, with this person, and it got to a point where we had some experiences that was so traumatic that it literally severed our friendship. It wasn't anything too crazy off the wall, but it was enough to say, you know what, we're going to go our separate ways because this is just getting to be too much, So how do you know, guys, when to let go? I want to hear some of your comments. George said, you're making no sense whatsoever. Well, George, why don't you give us some insight? Can you make sense of the topic? Can you tell us how do you know when to let go, George? Help us out since you know more. Help us out. So Tanya says, sounds familiar. I know that story. I know, Tanya. Tell us a little bit more, Tanya, so we can, gain some insight. Reva said it might be the crazy bus. It might be, Reva. It might be, right? It might be. it's difficult to let go of someone that you care about. You try to hold on as best you can. You try to make it work as best you can, but at some point you have to decide, this is not for me. It's not working for me, and there is someone better. Like, I think for a lot of us, we have a fear that there isn't, we can't find better. We have a genuine fear that, if I let this go, we're not going to find someone that's better than what we currently have. And we stay with dysfunctional situations a little longer than we should. Tanya said past relationship. I know, girl, I know. Give us some insight. Because this is one of those situations where I think there's no one way. Everybody has different experiences, right? Because everybody has been socialized differently. You have some people who don't have emotional attachment. They don't struggle with the emotional attachment of sticking in a situation when it stops working. Like, they're like, you know what? It's not working. I'm out and on to the next. Like, you'll see a few of these comments that say, you know what? It's not working, on to the next. But then you have others of us who may have struggled with low self-esteem, or we may have issues of abandonment, right? Where we've been left before, or it's happened, over time, like more than once. And we have a genuine fear of being left. And so we stay in situations longer than what we should. Hey, Charles. You said just tuned in, almost like I know you didn't forget about me, Charles, right? So we deal with abandonment issues. We deal with, like for me personally, I have endured a tremendous amount of rejection over, I would say over my adult years of, as long as I've been old enough to date. I have endured a tremendous amount of rejection. So for me, typically when in times past, when I meet someone who actually wanted to be in a relationship with me, or I wanted to be in a relationship with them, and everything was good at some point, and then things may have turned bad, it's difficult to walk away, just because of abandonment issues. You're like, wow, he likes me, we may not be getting along, or we may be arguing like crazy, but he genuinely wants to be with me. And that comes from just having low self-esteem or struggling with abandonment. And so we stay in situations a lot longer because of those issues, right? So rejection will make you do some crazy things. Rejection will make you stay in situations that we know are not healthy for us, because of fear of being rejected, or fear of being left, or fear of being alone, or not, finding someone who genuinely cares about us. So we'll take it. Sometimes we'll settle, or we'll take what we can get. So Tracy said, when you're constantly in a state of sadness, fear, anger, and insecure more than you're happy or feeling love, it's time to dip. Right. And you know what, Tracy? One of my things, that's so true, right? I have been in situations where I've felt all of those emotions that you just described, but I still didn't leave for fear that I wouldn't meet someone new, or for fear of being alone. Like, I've been angry. I've been fearful. I've been sad. I've tolerated, I guess, a certain level of dysfunction for fear of not being by myself, or for fear of not wanting to be alone. So it's like, how do you work through that? What do you do? What steps do you take? I can tell you that and tonight, guys, because I'm not a counselor, so we're working through this together, but I can tell you, I can speak from experiential knowledge and say that I have just found, I've tapped into purpose. Like, what's my God-given purpose? God, what have you called me to do? And I have focused in on that. I have put my energy into purpose, and and God has blessed me as a result of that. This platform is a result of purpose. Like, this platform is literally birthed out of my pain. It's not because I'm qualified to get on here and talk to you about relationships. No, it's because I've dealt and I've bore a lot of pain over my life, in relationships. I've been hurt. I've experienced a tremendous amount of rejection. So as a result of those experiences, that's why I'm sitting on here with you tonight, because of those experiences. So Larry said, He said I could be your therapist. I don't need you to be my therapist. I don't need you for that. Larry said, I've been trying to give all my heart to a woman, but we seem not to get along. So I know we may disagree on some things. So I know that we don't have the same chemistry or mindset. So I know it's time to let go and pray to Jesus and move on with my life, and hope and pray God send me another woman who can understand me and want the same goals as I do. And I hope and pray that God send me another woman to be my wife, and thank you for giving us men advice. You know what? And Larry, I can appreciate your comments, because I've been in that situation that you're in. I've been in a relationship where I've given my all, where I've given 110%, and it wasn't reciprocated. And after trying, after giving all of yourself, and then now you're empty, they're making withdrawals, but they're not making any deposits. At a certain point, you have to decide this is unhealthy. And I have to believe, because you believe in God, I have to believe God, he's going to send me someone who has common goals and purposes, who have similar dreams, who have, you don't necessarily have to have the same mindset, but you have the similar foundations. Does she believe in God? Is that something, if that's something that's important to you? Those are some of the things that we need to really be observing when we first meet these people, because I feel like if we took time to really pay attention when we meet people, then we wouldn't be in these crazy situations months later saying, well, okay, we don't have similar purposes, or we don't have similar goals, or our mindsets are different. Their mindset was always different. It's just that we saw someone that we may have found attractive, or they may have met some of those criteria that we have on that list, right? And we chose to omit those red flags that was there from day one. I've been guilty of it. I really have. You're like, gosh, he's nice, but I don't like this about him. And you still tolerate it. You still accept it. You still deal with it, because you don't want to be by yourself. And that's why it's important, like I stated earlier, is to find out what your purpose is and put your energy in that and focus on that. I've been reading the book, The Wait. And that book is so insightful, guys, because it will help you find what to do with your time while you're waiting for the right one. Instead of trying to make these dysfunctional relationships work and spending more time than we should with people who we know are not right with us, right for us rather, it helps us to really learn how to tap into purpose and, really find out, really focusing on what God has called us to do, focus on that. And while we're doing purpose, that's when we'll connect with the right person. So Kim said, we have to break the generational curse and make sure our daughters have the tools. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Kim. I'm giving my daughter tools that her life won't be her. I'm giving her tools that her life won't to be her roadmap, right? So you're giving her tools so that she can have a better roadmap than we. And the crazy thing about it is breaking generational curses, and I personally, I don't have children, but and that whole generational curse, like if I did have a daughter, I'm still working on, trying to break that generational curse that hovers so greatly over me. So I can only imagine what I would be, not necessarily depositing, but the example that my daughter would have, she watching me struggle through some of the situations that I've gone through. I pray that if God blesses me with a daughter one day, that I'm first of all, I'm married, and that I'm the example, for her, that she will make better decisions. So, Tracy said we have to learn how to recognize flags as flags early so we don't invest our time into hopeless situations. Tracy, you are so right. You are so right. But I think a lot of us sometimes, because we are lonely, and we get tired of being by ourselves, we recognize flags, but we just choose to turn the other cheek. We choose to ignore them. We choose to settle and say, and try to work through it and try to make adjustments. And that's when you begin to resent the person and the situation doesn't work for us. Curtis said, I like that purpose. I have someone dear to me who is in a very abusive relationship, but does not know the level of purpose to get out of it. It breaks my heart, but I'm trusting God that she will get out. Thank you for that one. That one word, purpose. I will pray and pass this on to her. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have, like, guys, I'm telling you, like, my purpose is doing it. I think in this season of my life, purpose for me is CheMinistry. Purpose for me is having these platforms where we can sit down and talk about it together. I'm not talking at you. We're talking together and we're helping one another. There is an element of entertainment to what I do, but this is really designed to help us to really talk about situations or experiences that we have. And when you find out that other people are going through similar situations or similar experiences, we can kind of help one another, by providing practical principles and maybe thinking through our own personal situations and, say, well, hey, if that worked for them, then that might work for me. Like the example with purpose. If we focus more on purpose and not so much on these dysfunctional relationships, things may actually work out in our favor. So Kim said, don't let other people set your timetable. Kim, I don't, girl. I'm hard on myself at this point. I mean, I think at this point in my life, my family has kind of accepted the idea that I could potentially not have children. That's just the reality of it. I don't know what God's plan is for my life, but I'm 42. And at this point, I don't know. I still want children, and I'm sure I can still bear children, but I'm not married and I'm not in a relationship. So I don't know what God's plan is, but I'm the one who beats myself up when it comes to the timetable. Like, I'm the one who puts the pressure on myself, because I say, well, gosh, I want to have children, but I'm 42. Is that realistic? My grandmother had her last child at age 44. I know it's possible, but the reality of it is that time is moving forward. So, we'll see. So Mustafa says, I have no problem walking away from a bad situation in a relationship, because I know if disappointed and disrespectful behavior, this is part of my life. I have a birthday tomorrow. I'm not going to be in a setting that cause anger in either person. What you do is get on a plane and go somewhere that's warm and an ocean nearby. I will not cause anyone pain. I will walk away. That's why I'm single. Learn to love yourself. It's not selfish when the reason for doing it is to be a better person when you think it's time to have a relationship. Till then, work on yourself. I agree with you totally. It's important to take that time alone and work on yourself. For 8 years, guys, I spent 8 years not dating. I didn't date for 8 years. I was celibate. I didn't even have male friends during this 8 years. Not something that I did on purpose. It's just something that happened, right? And so during those 8 years, I really took the time to do the work, because I was praying for a healthy relationship. But what God said to me was, you want my best, but you're not my best. So I had to deal with that personal dysfunction, those behaviors that cause us to stay in dysfunctional relationships longer than what we should. I think at this point in my life, it's a little bit easier for me to walk away. I will admit this last situation, it took me a little while, not like a long while, but it took me a lot longer than it typically would to walk away. I think because we were both trying. But it just didn't work, and at some point you have to recognize it's not working, and the crazy thing about it is a lot of us who believe in God and those of us who love God, we pray, God, send the right person into my life. Meanwhile, we're in these crazy situations, right? And then we get upset when God severs it or it doesn't work out, or he frustrates the situation. But have you ever thought about when you're in these crazy situations and you're praying and then you're going through all of this frustration? That's God only communicating to us and saying, I'm trying to pull you guys apart. Like, I'm not going to sing you my best and you're in dysfunction. So it's best that you go ahead and sever that situation so that you can receive my best. Because the thing about it is, when you're in these dysfunctional situations, you're accruing like emotional residue. Like, you pick up baggage when you're in bad situations. You may not suffer with low self-esteem, but by the time you get out of those situations, you have low self-esteem, because the person has either done something to you or, you know, you're doing something to them and then you leave those situations damaged. So it's best to get out so that you don't have to work through so much dysfunction, right? That was like one of my issues, is that, God, I spent 8 years trying to work through issues, and, you know, I feel like I'm where I need to be emotionally. But when you get into these situations that's dysfunctional, you start picking up emotional baggage. Like, I didn't even struggle with this before, but now all of a sudden this is a problem for me. So it's, you know, I know that it's difficult to walk away. That's why I'm having this platform tonight. I want to be able to help. I want you guys to help me. But the best thing to do if you're in dysfunction is to get out. Get out, focus on what's important, tap into your purpose, do what God has called you to do, focus on that, put your energy in that, and then while you're doing that, God will bless you with the person that he intended for you to be with. Time belongs to God. You're right, Jamar. Who you telling? Oh my God, and that's a hard pill to swallow, because you're like, God, I'm ready now. I know I'm like, God, I'm ready now. I want to be married now, but it's not in his plan for me to be married now, because if it was, I would be married. Lewis said, I'm not letting you go, Chanel. What are you talking about, man? Charles said, right now I'm involved with someone who just can't seem to let go over their past guys and calling it friendship. I love this woman, but this been going on for some time now. I am at the end of my rope. Now, Charles, I got a question for you, because first of all, you said you love this person, right? So that you've had to invest some time in this person in order to get to the point where you can actually say, you know what, I love this person. But you're saying that she's investing time into men from her past that she called just friendships, right? And you've allowed this to go on. So you've observed this behavior, but somehow you've allowed it to go on so long that you're actually saying, I love her, but this is what's going on. So the question, Charles, really is not about her spending time with men from her past. The question is, how did you let it get this far? How did you let it get this bad? How did you let it get to a point where you could say, I love her, but she's been doing this for some time? Like, what is it about you, you know, that you've allowed yourself to be in this situation and allow her to treat you the way that she's been treating you? Like, what is it about you? Is it low self-esteem? You know, is it rejection? Is it fear of being alone? Is it fear that you won't meet someone better than her? You know, these are the questions that I've had to ask myself. You know, like, why are you in this situation? Like, why are you allowing this person to do this to you? Like, why are you doing it? And I mean, I have been there, y'all, more times than one, a lot of times. And I have to say, at the end of the day, it was fear. I didn't want to be by myself. I was afraid I wasn't going to meet someone else better, you know? So you have to ask yourself those hard questions. Hey, Calvina, how are you? Yeah, so it's difficult. It is difficult. It's very difficult. I've observed someone in relationship with someone, and they were in a relationship with, I won't say a relationship, they were in a situationship with someone, and they were doing all the things that two people in a relationship would do, right? But at the end of the day, this person would not commit. This person didn't want to be in a committed relationship, right? They wanted to do all the things that two people in a relationship would do, but they didn't want to commit because they wanted to leave their options open. And that breeds dysfunction. And you have to ask yourself, if I want to be in a relationship, why would I put myself in a situation like this where I know it's not going anywhere? I'm giving this person my body. I'm giving this person my time. And they don't want to be in a relationship. Guys, you're going to leave hurt. You're going to leave damaged. I wanted to read this. I'm looking at this post I posted on, when did I post it? Yesterday. And it's so real. It's called, and you guys could read it on my Facebook page, but it's called Dating in 2016. It says, let's be friends, just friends. I'm not ready for a relationship, but I expect you to do things with me considered inappropriate in terms of a friendship. We're not together. You can't claim me. You can't be with anyone but me. I need you to be loyal, but I'll do what I want. When you get mad, I'll tell you we're not together. If you catch feelings, I'll become distant. You knew what this was. I told you I'm not ready for a relationship. How many of you have been in situations like that, where you have been dating dating someone, because I just learned, y'all, there's a difference in dating and being in a relationship. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm 42 and I just learned that there is a difference in dating and being in a relationship. And that's a topic that we're going to focus on the next CheMinistry here in Atlanta. So how many of you have been in situations where you've had someone say to you, I don't want to be in a relationship, I just want to be friends, but meanwhile, you guys are doing everything that two people in a relationship do, but then the moment they feel like, oh, you have feelings for them, they either stop calling or become distant, play that little game. Like, how many times have you gone through that? And, you leave that situation feeling rejected, dejected, disappointed. It causes fear. You can't move on. And then the next time you meet someone, you're looking at them with the side eye like, okay, at what point are you going to do me the same way that person just did me? How many of you have been in a situation like that? Let's see. Kim said, but while I just started a business and my kids are 17 and 14, I'm doing me. That's right, Kim. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Focusing on you. Focusing on purpose. Let's see. Okay, I haven't had anyone comment. So how many of you have been in a situation where you have, a lot, and I'm biased, y'all, because I'm a woman, so I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective. But I have plenty of men on here who can speak from the male perspective. I've been in situations where I've had a man say to me, I don't want to be in a relationship, but they want to do things that two people in relationship do. And I think this is what causes a whole lot of confusion. You have people who say, I want to be in a relationship, but meanwhile, you want to take up my time. You want to do things that two people in a relationship want to do. But then the moment, either you feel like I'm, developing feelings, or if it doesn't go in the way in which you want it to go, then, things blow up. How many of you been in situations like that? Never for me, but it's real and it's honest. So Charles, you said you've never been in a situation. So Charles, let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you've told a woman that you didn't want to be in a relationship, but meanwhile you guys were doing things that two people in a relationship were doing, and then the moment you felt like she was changing, or, because, sex changes. Let's just be real. Sex changes everything. Like, let me just go ahead and tell y'all right now. Think you could be in a situation with a woman and you think you can have sex with her and y'all not in a quote unquote relationship, or y'all haven't, created those boundaries, it's going to change everything. I don't care what she says. If you have sex with a woman or a man, even, the moment you do that, it's going to change the dynamics of that relationship. But how many of you guys have been in a situation where you've said you just want, and a lot of times, let's go ahead and deal with this too while we on it, because this stuff coming to me now. A lot of times when a man tell you that they just want to be friends and they don't want to be in a relationship, but meanwhile they are sleeping with you and doing all these other things with you, it's because they're not really into you. They don't want to be with you. They don't see a future with you. So anybody out there who is sleeping or dating some man who is saying he just want to be friends, but meanwhile y'all having sex and doing other things, but he don't want to be in a committed relationship, he's trying to leave the door open where he can meet somebody else, or date somebody else, he's not into you. So I tell you right now, walk away. It's time to let go. It's time to let go. If you are sleeping with a man and he's telling you he don't want to be in a relationship, that is the number one. It's time to let go. That's how you know when it's time to walk away. And you should have walked away before it got to that point. But if you're in a situation and this person doesn't want to commit to you and he's giving you all types of excuses, because people make time for what they want to make time for. We all know that. Then it's time to walk away. I see you guys joined. I guess nobody been in a situation where somebody didn't want to commit, but you were having sex and then it didn't work out because you wanted more. But Charles, okay, so you made a good point. You said, I haven't, but I would let a woman know up front. Charles, I'm sorry, darling. That's not good enough. If you know you don't want to be in a relationship with this woman, You need to find out what she wants, and you need to make it clear. Like, you guys need to be very transparent, because I'm going to tell you, you can let her know up front all you want, but if you guys begin sleeping together, the dynamic of the situation is going to change. It's going to change. It's going to change. You can let them know up front all you want, that you don't want to be in a relationship. If you don't want to be in a relationship with them, don't sleep with them. It's going to change. It will save a lot of you some damage to your car, some key, like your car being keyed or tires being flattened. It'll save you all of that drama, somebody popping up over your house without calling, somebody embarrassing you out in public. It will save you that headache. Don't sleep with them if you know you have no intention on being with them. Don't do that, because you're inviting drama. Tracy said, I have, and walking away was not a problem for me. I'm too old to be anyone's booty call. Now, okay, Tracy, you are the exception to the rule. I know you, darling. Like, you think like a man. You're the exception to the rule. You're not like a lot of us who kind of live in our emotion, so to speak. Tracy, you don't let emotion overtake you. You can manage the two, and I admire that about you. But a lot of us can't manage. Like, I don't know where you get that trait from. I wish I could inherit that trait. I don't have it. But a lot of us, we can't manage it. Coretta said, listen to my cuz, y'all. She talking true. I'm trying to help y'all. Tracy, I'm serious. Charles said, I would make it very clear. If she feels different, then don't cross that path. But my thing is, Charles, why waste your time if you ain't into her? Like, my thing is, if you're not into her, don't waste her time. If you bored, go watch a movie by yourself, but don't waste her time, because you men, you kill me. Now, I'm telling you now, I'm biased because I'm a woman. You men kill me. You say, oh, she crazy. She crazy. She acting crazy. No, she not crazy. She responding to what you've done. That's what she's doing. She's not crazy. Dion said, it's your girl, Dion. Check in. Yes, girl, you have to cut off the cookies. That's right. But you know what, Dion? They don't even deserve the cookies from the gate. If a man is telling you they don't want to be in a relationship, and I'm guilty of it, so I don't want anybody to think, oh, you don't understand. No, I have been in this situation where somebody has told me, I don't want to be in a relationship. I just want to be friends. And then they're still willing to sleep with me, and then when things didn't work out like I wanted them to, I acted out. I'm just going to be real with you. Like, I acted out. I acted a plumb fool, because I don't play that. I don't even play those games now. I don't even put myself in those types of situations now. But in times past, I have been in situations like that. And you could call me crazy. You could say whatever you want to say, but you have no business sleeping with a woman and saying at the same time, I just want to be friends. Because I'm telling you now, the dynamics of the relationship, Sean, is going to change, and you're inviting drama. Period. And nowadays, y'all, it's not like when we were kids. Nowadays, people will kill you over stuff like this. People ain't playing no more. They not playing with you no more. Back in the day, you might get a pop-up, or you might get embarrassed in public. No big deal. But now people are really trying to hurt people over stuff like this. Look, you need to watch Snap. Y'all watch Snap? Sean said she wanted to sleep with Sean, you killing me. Dion said, we all been there. Sean said she wanted to sleep with me. So, Sean, is that all that it was? Is that all that it was? NC Roxborough, you right. All right now, Roxborough. Okay, so Sean, if y'all was on the same page and y'all both had that understanding that that's all that it was, and she was clear and you were clear, that's an exception to the rule. But I can tell you, 9 times out of 10, a woman don't just want to sleep with you. They are attracted to you. They see something about you that they like, okay? So Charles said, but if a woman want the same, is it still bad? No, Charles, if you guys have an understanding that that's what it is, and that's all that it is, and that's different. But I'm saying that 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. And there are women, y'all, that will tell you that it's cool and it's really not cool. They're just willing to take what they can get from this, because they like you just that much. So if they can just get some of your time, they'll go along with the foolishness just to share space with you. I'm letting you guys know. So don't buy the hype when a woman say, well, I'm cool with this, because they really just want your time. But I can tell you, over time, if you spend a considerable amount of time with that person, they don't just want to sleep with you. Okay. So Jamar said, but a lot of women just want I don't understand what that means. You gotta tell me what that acronym mean, because Jamar, I'm not hip to it. Craig said, you right, been there. I know. Sean said, I'm honest. But Sean, you know what? That's a cop-out too, Sean. That's a cop-out, because you got to do more than be honest. You got to, because, you can say one thing out your mouth, but your actions say something different. And then that woman will say, well, I'm just going to give him time, because, let's just get to know each other. And he's spending time with me, so he must be into me. So even though he doesn't want to be in a relationship today, at some point, he's going to want to be in a relationship, right? So I'll wait it out, because I know that I can change his mind. I'm trying to tell you something. And then that's the woman that's going to slice your tires because you play games with her. Tracy said, women can't sleep with men on a long-term basis and not catch feelings. Thank you, Tracy. They can't. Women are not going to sleep with you on a long-term basis and not catch feelings. It's just not going to happen. Friends with benefits? No. Jamar, friends with benefit will get you hurt, okay? It will get you hurt. Girl, I'm coming up there to visit you when you have your show, CheMinistry. I love your time. Come on, Felicia. That's my cousin. Come on. Tracy said, if a woman doesn't catch feelings and she's been sleeping with you for a while, she has a side guy. You're absolutely right. That's about the only way she don't have feelings for you, is if she got somebody else, or she married, or she in a situation that she ain't ready to leave, and she just enjoying, she don't even demand a lot of time from you. She just sleep with you. She just sleep with you. That's all it is. Like, y'all not spending time or, doing anything else. That's all it is. But I guarantee you she got someone else. And if she's not hounding you for your time, let me let you in on something, guys, so you'll know how to recognize the situation. So you can differentiate between a woman who just want to sleep with you and a woman who want more, who wants a relationship or wants a little bit more with you. A woman who's not hounding you for your time. Y'all sleeping together, right? But she's not hounding you for your time. She lets you go as you please and do what you want. She don't call you. She got somebody else. She's not into you like that. Y'all just enjoying each other's space for the time that you share with one another. But if a woman is hounding you for your time, calling you, texting you, wanting to see you in the daylight, she wants more than just sex. Okay, let's just be clear about that. I don't care what she say. She want more. Okay? So, Mustafa said, patience, Chanel, is coming. It's coming for you. Trust your instincts. You know who is talking to you. Being 42 is a new 30. See, to answer your question with Chanel, when I meet a woman, I ask a few simple questions. What do you want from me? Then I ask, are you looking for friends with benefits? Are you looking long-term relationship? See, integrity and being honest is a key element to having understanding. At my age, no drama can be a part of my life. I can agree with that. But, a lot of times, because men and women are different in that. Men can genuinely just not want to be in a relationship. Like, it's not that the woman is not attractive. It's not that he's not into that woman, but he may just be focused on another area of his life, whether it be his career or whatever it is. If he's a dad, he may be focused on his children, especially if he's no longer with the children's mom. Men are like that. They can compartmentalize like their emotions. Like, they don't have to be in a relationship. Like, they can like you and like everything about you and still not want to be in a committed relationship just because of time restrictions or other things that may be going on in their life. Women, on the other hand, we're going to make time. If we meet someone that we really like and we really digging, and he meet everything on our list or the majority of everything on our list, we're not going to tell him we're not ready to be in a relationship. We're not going to let that. We're not going to let him walk away. We're just not going to do it. We're a little bit different, guys. You'll let a good woman go, 10 good women go, because you're just not ready. Whereas a woman, we meet a good man, no, he's not going. He's not going. And if it has happened, that's the exception. I'm just telling you. Feelings do get involved. I mean, men, they kill me when they say, I told her I was honest. I told her I just want to be friends. I told her I didn't want to be in a relationship. It doesn't matter. If you didn't want to be in a relationship, you probably didn't need to engage in any type of relation with her other than just being her friend and having conversation. I wouldn't even spend a whole lot of time with a woman that you don't want a relationship with, like going out, going to the movies and things of that nature, because even in that type of time spent, emotions do still get caught up, and that's just the truth. Guys, bring me some more comments. I want to hear your perspective on this. How do you know when to let go? You know, we get caught up in these crazy situations. We don't know how to walk away. You know, a lot of times we stay in dysfunctional situations until something crazy happens. That's just the truth. Like, we tolerate a lot. We deal with a lot of foolishness. You know, we make excuses for a lot of crazy stuff until something so crazy pop off that we have no other choice but to walk away. Like, it's just so bad, I can't get past it. It's just terrible, you know. And that's, you know, it shouldn't be that way. What's up, Kelton? It shouldn't be that way, you know. If you are in a situation that's dysfunctional, or if you're in a situation where you're not being satisfied or your needs are not being met, you should be able to walk away if you so choose. You shouldn't stay and settle and, you know, be mistreated and risk being cheated on and, you know, going through all kinds of crazy situations just because you don't want to be by yourself. You know, you have to tap into purpose and find what it is that God has called you to do and put your focus and energy into that, and you'll be fulfilled. I'm not saying that that's all you have to do. I'm just saying that that's what you need to focus on while you're preparing yourself for the mate or the man or the woman that God has for you. Because I'll be the first one to say, y'all, I'm not one of those Christians that's going to get on here and say to you, you know, just focus on purpose, do what God called you to do, and you're going to be fulfilled. No, because you will get lonely. You will get lonely. You will have moments where you're lonely. So that's why it's so important to have a prayer life. Let me just keep it real with you. Dion said, we as women are emotional creatures and men are hunters by nature. They want all of what they can't always have with no time. But see, Dion, this is the thing that's crazy to me, right? Because I get what you're saying. Men are hunters. But at some point, when they conquer, like, okay, let's move to the next level. Like, I've been in a situation where, you know, there was a gentleman who wanted to date me, and I didn't want to do it initially. I just didn't want to get involved. And it took me about 10 months to say, you know what, I'm going to give this gentleman a try. And I mean, he did everything to gain my attention. He did everything. And that's partially why I chose to say, okay, I'm going to give him a try, right? 10 months. But then the moment I said, okay, I'm going to give you a try, you know, and then, you know, my behavior towards him changed because now I'm giving him a try, right? He changed. You know, like he turned into the person that I was trying to avoid in the first place. I don't understand. Like, okay, you hunted. You hunted and you got what you wanted. Now, why would you change? Like, I can't keep playing games. I can't keep playing mind games with you and, you know, not answering your call and, you know, being distant with you to make you continue to hunt. At some point, you're going to have to find a certain level of contentment, you know, and, you know, get to know that person. So I don't understand that. Can you guys kind of give me some insight on that? Craig said, what if you want to see someone, but they don't take the time or effort to see you? Well, if you want to see someone and they're not putting an effort to see you, they're not into you, Craig. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but I had to tell myself that. You like this person and I can't understand why he's not calling me, or why we don't do more, or why we're not going out, or why we're not doing this. It's because he's not into me. It's that simple. It's so simple. Like, I believe it's just that simple, because when you meet someone that you really like and that you're really into, you're going to take every opportunity to spend time with that person, even if it means staying up late, even if it means you got to get up for work the next morning and y'all on the phone. You will stay up to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock on the phone with this person just because you like their company. And you don't want to lose any time. Like, you want to be in their presence, So that's a hard truth. That's even for me. Like, like I had to tell myself, and I talk to myself just like I'm talking to y'all. Like because I give myself self-talks. Like, I have to talk to myself. Like, okay, Chanel, he ain't into you. Move on. He ain't into you. It's okay. It's okay. You guys don't, you don't have things in common, or, you might not be in the same place right now, or his focus may be somewhere else. Whatever the situation is. A lot of times we as women, we want to know what about us he don't like. Why he don't like me? I got to know why. It can't just be he not into you. We got to know why. What is it about me that he don't like? And I'm guilty of that. But it's not important why. All you need to know is that they're not into you, and move on and meet someone who's into you. It's just that simple. It's hard. I know it's hard, y'all. I know it, but that's just how it is. Jamar, all comes down to knowing your worth, man or woman. Once you know, then nothing will come before your worth. Okay, so Jamar, be more explicit about what you say. Elaborate on that statement, know your worth. Define know your worth, Jamar? That's important. That's important, because a lot of people say know your worth, but they don't know what that means. So, Jamar, can you explain a little bit about that, since you brought that into the conversation? Felicia said, some men can cut a woman off just like flicking a switch. You're right. And won't think twice about it. Women need closure. You're right. We do need closure. We always want to know why, but we know why we knew a long time ago. But just like you say, we just keep holding on. You're right. When a man can cut you off like that, he never was into you in the first place. I don't know how you men can compartmentalize your emotions like that and not develop attachments to a person, that, you spend time with, you share space with, some of you have sex with, and I'm talking about over an extended amount of time, and not have emotions. I don't understand how you do that. I wish I knew how you do that, because if I knew, I'd do it too. So Craig said, I told a lady you would like to be with me, but then I didn't get that response back. Oh, you said I told a lady you would like to be with them. You said I told a lady you would like to be with them, but I didn't get that response back. Right. So if they don't give you that response back, Craig, then it just means that they're not interested. And a lot of times, let me just say this to you. A lot of times we are in relationship with someone who don't want to be with us. I've experienced that before too, guys. You be in relationship with someone who doesn't want to be with you. And you can tell by their actions. They're with you now. And you guys do share space. But you could tell there's a disconnect. You could tell that you guys are not on the same page. You can feel it, but you continue to be in that situation knowing that that person is not into you. And the reason they're in that situation is because they have a fear of being alone. Just like you have a fear of being alone because you allowing them to treat you that way. That's just the truth. That's a hard one, because a lot of us are in relationships right now with people who don't give us the time of day. They may sleep in our bed. You may have a dinner with them from time to time, but at the end of the day, y'all, they're not into you, and you know it, but you don't want to be by yourself, so you continue to tolerate it. I've been there, done that. It's just the truth. When a person's not giving you what you want, they're just not there. I don't know why. I don't know why they continue to take up space in your life knowing they're not there. But it happens. So it's important that we stay aware and that we pay attention, and that we can make wise choices and that we can walk away when we observe that behavior, because we are better than that. And we should know our worth. But Jamar, you haven't come back with that comment. Can somebody kind of elaborate on what knowing your worth really means so that we can know? That's important, you know? And it's not about materialistic possessions either, guys. But I really want, I want to talk about knowing your worth. Because a lot of times, and I'm going to be like, I'm not going to be that person because I'm going to keep it real with you. Because you can know your worth and you can know what you bring to the table and you can know that you're a great person, but still settle for bad situations. So that's why I want you guys to elaborate on knowing your worth. I have been in situations where I know that I bring so much to the table and I know that I'm an amazing person and I have so much to offer this person and I can love this person in a way that I believe nobody else can love them, right? And know that they're not reciprocating that action back toward me and still stay in that situation because I don't want to be by myself or because, I don't want to wait. That word wait, that ugly word wait. We hate waiting. I'm guilty of it. I hate waiting. I've been waiting. I feel like I've been waiting all of my life. For those of you who don't know me, I've never been married. And I am single right now and I'm 42 and I don't have children. But I think I've wanted to be married since I was probably, I'm going to say 25, 26 years old. My 30th birthday, guys, right before my 30th birthday, I said, maybe a couple months before I turned 30, I had said, you know what, on my 30th birthday, if I'm not in a relationship, I'm not leaving the house. As if that was going to hurt somebody else. I'm not leaving the house because I'm 30 and I'm single and I don't have anybody. Y'all, my 30th birthday came and went and I literally did stay in that house. But who did I hurt? I didn't hurt anybody but myself. We hate waiting. I don't even understand that word wait. I'm just learning to find contentment with where God has me because I don't even get it. I'm like, because people say, well, it's just not your time. Well, when is my time, man? I see other people out here who have relationships. I'm not saying that their relationships are perfect, but I don't understand that word wait. So I just try to find contentment with where I am, try to make the most of what God has given to me, and try to live my best life, because when I focus on the wait, I run myself crazy. So anyway, Craig said, what I've been through, so I think I'll just keep my space and stay to myself. I know, Craig. But you know what, Craig? God got somebody for you. Just that word wait. Find what you like to do. You like to cook, so focus on that. Like, put your energy into that. Don't focus so much on trying to fill that void. And I guarantee you that person will come. And I'm speaking and I'm while I'm telling you, encouraging you, Craig, I'm encouraging myself. Because I could tell you this. It's better to be by yourself, focusing on purpose and doing what God called you to do, rather than being in a situation with someone who don't give a shit about you. Excuse my language, y'all. It's better. Let me tell you, save yourself a lot of pain, a lot of frustration. You ain't got to sit and watch no phone. You ain't got to check your texts and be like, oh, did he call? No, you ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to worry about if he coming or she coming. You don't have to worry about that. So I say, wait for the right person. I know that to be true. And I'm single, y'all, and I can say that. I can say that. Do I get lonely? Absolutely, I get lonely. But it's better to be alone than to be stuck with somebody who don't care about you. And that's just the truth. So Kendra said, preach, you're not alone. I feel you, girl. I appreciate that. You are worth the wait. I agree. Thank you, Felicia. Jamar said, know your worth is having value, standing up for what you believe, knowing God has a bigger plan for you, and not just what you can give a person or how that person can make you feel in a relationship. It's not about you. I agree with you. I agree totally. Jamar, I agree with you. But the thing about it is, the key in what you're saying, Jamar, is you have to know God, and you have to know that he has a plan for you. You have to be able to tap into that, because if you haven't tapped into that, then you don't know. I don't care. You can tell somebody all day long, know your worth, but that's why I had you describe what that means. means. Because a lot of people don't know what that means. I can tell you this. All of my, I'm going to say majority of all of my 20s and a good part of my 30s, I didn't even know what purpose was. I had no idea what purpose meant. I didn't know. I just thought it was a cliche when I went to church. They talked about purpose. I'm like, what is it? And I'm speaking from someone who had a career, who owned a home. I had done all those things by age 30, but I still didn't know what my purpose was. It was a cliche to me. It wasn't until I lost everything that I tapped into purpose and really, and I'm still learning. Like you never know it all. We just evolve over time. God doesn't just stop with one thing. He goes from glory to glory. So that's why it's so important to have a relationship with him and not like a one night stand, but continually commune so you can really know what it is that he's called you to do. So any more comments, guys? I'm excited. I'll be honest. When I decided I was going to do this Facebook Live, I wasn't too excited because I'm still learning how to let go and learning when to let go. Like I'm still in that process. So I don't have all the answers. I honestly don't know. So what we're going to do tonight, and this was my thought process going into this, is that we're going to help each other. Because I don't have the answers. I don't know. She said, yes, stop telling my business, girl. I'm trying. Look, I'm trying not to tell your business. I don't know. I've been in such, like I said, I'm 42. I get lonely. I'm single. That's just the truth at the end of the day. And it's not because I have to be single. I'm just going to wait for God's best for me. If it was just about being with someone, well, I could have someone here taking up the space, but I'm not interested in that. I want the right person because I've been with the wrong person and I know it is painful. It's painful to be with the wrong person. So if any of you guys, if somebody bringing you more pain than pleasure, and I'm not talking about sex, but if you sad more than you happy, that person's probably the wrong person for you, and you need to let go. Let go and trust God that he's going to send the right person in your life. And I'm preaching to the choir right now. I'm telling y'all the truth. I'm preaching to the choir. I'm telling you. So Mustafa says, Chanel, that's why I'm single by choice. My apologies if this sounds selfish. I would not hesitate. Leaving a relationship that has toxicity in it is a good thing to step off from. Absolutely. You're right. You are right. The whole purpose of me having this platform is to really talk about that. Like leaving a relationship, because like what you said seems so simple, right? I'm trying to articulate it in the way that everybody gets what I'm trying to say, so I can make sense. Like this gentleman who was listening to us early, he said I wasn't making sense, but I just don't, some people just think they know everything. But anyway, leaving a relationship that's toxicity, leaving a relationship that has toxicity or that's toxic, right? A lot of times we know when we're in a relationship that's not good for us or that's toxic. That's not the issue. It's the other issues that we struggle with. It's the issue of abandonment or the issue of rejection or fear of being alone. So that's really what this discussion is about. It ain't about really leaving, because we know when we need to leave, but it's learning how to leave and trusting God enough and trusting our inner self enough to know. And knowing our worth, so that we can get out of dysfunctional relationships and really wait for what God has intended for us. That's what this conversation really is about. It's not about, when. It's about how and understanding, like really like delving deep, not like looking at the other person, but like asking that hard question, like what is it in me that's causing me to stay in this situation? I had asked myself the same question, like, why are you in this situation and it's hurting you? Why are you constantly trying to work this out? And you said it's not for you. You said you're settling. Like I've said it to my friends, I'm settling. It's not the right situation for me. I know this person isn't meant for me. So why are you doing this? And at the end of the day, it was fear. It was, fear of being alone, fear of not birthing children for me personally, because of my age, not being able to have children, it was fear. I'm being transparent with you guys. Like, that's huge. Like, if it wasn't an issue of bearing children for me at my age, then I could probably chill and wait, and wait till the right person come along without the pressure. But I can tell you this, that God has really dealt with that fear, because I'm learning to embrace where I am, and if it's intended for me to birth a child, I will. I'll be old as hell, but it's all good. With that child, it's all good. But I'm willing to wait for the right person. I'm not gonna settle anymore. That's how I got to be 42, single with no children, guys. Spending too much time in dysfunctional relationships, dealing with men who didn't deserve my time, giving too much of myself to people who didn't deserve it. That's how I got to be 42 with no children. I mean, because people say, well, why? Why are you single? Why you ain't never been married? Because I made bad decisions and bad choices. Spending too much time with people who didn't deserve my time. Not knowing when to walk away. Not knowing when to let go. Or either knowing but not knowing how. Or being afraid. So that's how I got to be this age. But I believe, I'm just crazy enough to believe that God will allow me to be married. And he will allow me to birth a child. Because I ain't trying to have a whole bunch of children. But I'd like to at least have one. Or two, maybe. No more than two. So, yeah. So it's important, guys, for those of you who are younger than me, don't waste your time. You don't want to be... if you're 42 and you're single, not married, it's not a bad thing. But I'm just saying, for me, I know why. Because of the decisions that I've made in my past. So that's all I'm saying. So let's see. I want to address some of your comments. Jamar said, to me, having faith is knowing my worth. Knowing God has my best interest and will never put too much on me. Your worth comes from God. Amen. I agree. That's why it's so important to tap into purpose, and only he can reveal your purpose. He is your creator. You have to ask the maker. you have to. Okay. My connection was weak. Charles said, I feel you. I have a fear because of me being 42. So I pray to God. Now, Charles, okay. I don't want to devalue your fear, but Charles, you can have babies until the day you die. As a man, you guys can produce children until the day you die. So unless you plan on leaving this earth sometime soon, Charles, you good. You good, boo. You good. So let's see. Jizzle, he says, I agree with you, and I know people hate to hear it, but if a person won't allow God to show them what they're worth, then there's no way anybody can do it. Being still is our best bet, because true worth never settles, only increases its value with time. I agree with you. And Kendra said, yes, he will. Keep believing. Felicia, you laughing. I know. And, yeah. Hey, Cherie. Hey. So it's just about making better decisions, better choices, not allowing someone to take up space when you know you have no business being with them. We know some of us feel like, we could save somebody. I'm saving them. I'm helping them. Or they're not going to make it without me. They need me. They don't need you. They don't need you. If it's not, first of all, guys, if a person is not bringing your best you out, they're not for you. They're not. And that's something else I had to learn about in my own personal life. If every time I encounter this person, we are arguing, yelling and screaming and, coming out of character, and that's not who you are as a person, that person is bringing the worst out of you. They're not bringing the best out of you. So that's another indication that person is not for you, because a lot of times in those situations you walk away drained, like zapped of your energy, and it makes you a negative person. And believe it or not, guys, you leave with emotional residue. Like a part of you is just, you lose a part of yourself when you in situations like that. It's like You become like this argumentative person or this combative person because you're in this crazy situation, and then that becomes like your perspective on everything else. That's why you gotta free yourself and get the negativity out too. I've learned that too, like, because years ago I used to be like one of those type of people that had like I had an answer for everything. I was quick. Like I would cut you and didn't even mean to, but it was just a part of my makeup because I was so used to defending myself from people who I felt was trying to hurt me. So I hated that about myself. Like I would say things and it would be uncalled for. You have to be real with yourself at some point and say, okay, why did I say that? What was the purpose of me saying that? Why am I this way? It's because I was so used to defending myself. I always felt like I had to defend myself. And that's because people was taken from me. Like leeches, just taken. And so when I took those 8 years off, like I dealt with that. I dealt with that negativity, that energy. Now don't get it twisted. I'll get you told today, but I think before I speak. You know what I'm saying? Because when people are mistreat me or are mean to me, I know it's not me. It's their issue. And so you think before you speak, but before I felt like I had to defend myself. I had something to prove. I had to prove myself. And I'm not saying that I have worked through all of my issues because I still struggle, through certain things, like certain men in the past who, like, there's this one particular, I'll tell you guys this too, because I feel like the only way I can really help is to really just share and be real with you, right? So it's this gentleman, right, that I really liked a long time ago, some years ago. I really liked him. And I wouldn't necessarily say we're friends today, but we keep in touch from time to time via text. We don't really talk, but we talk via text. But I don't care what I do, like as it relates to like CheMinistry or what I'm working on today. I always feel the need to like share with him. Even if it's a flyer, my little promo stuff, I'll send it because it's not because I'm trying to inform him or let him know I have an event coming up. It's because I feel like I still got to prove myself to him. And I'm freeing myself even now as I tell you guys about this. Like, I feel like I got to prove to him that I'm good enough or that I was good enough or that he's missing out on something. You know what I'm saying? And that come from that, where that come from? Having low self-esteem. Not feeling like I'm good enough. That I feel like I got to prove something to him. Meanwhile, he don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? Truth be, I look at like, love will have you blinded sometime and you'll see things that aren't really there. I would question myself, am I good enough for him? Am I, and why don't he want to be in a relationship the way that I do? You know what I'm saying? But at a certain point, though, the blinders have to come off, and you have to see people for who they really are. And a lot of times, when you feel like you got to prove yourself to somebody, they looking at you and they intimidated by you, and you up here doing all of this stuff, going out your way, trying to show them. And the only reason why they're mistreating you or pushing you away is because they're intimidated by what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to check that behavior. You feel like you got to prove yourself or you're not enough because, people tend to push you away. And that's when you find out who your real friends are because they can't celebrate you, right? When it doesn't involve them, they can't celebrate you and make you feel like you're not good enough or what you're doing is not good enough. It's because they're intimidated by you. It's because they want to be you. It's because, you know what I'm saying? They're not happy for you. So let's see. Charles said, I know I have an 8-year-old. So you have to be mindful. Like sometimes we have our self-esteem is so low and we thinking it's one thing and it's no. They don't want to be around you because of your greatness. And a lot of times when God began to elevate us in our purpose, a lot of people fall off anyway. And we have to embrace that. And I'm preaching to myself right now. Embrace the idea that this person is no longer around. Because, they can't go. Everybody can't go where God is taking you. So that's just a piece of information I wanted to share with you guys. Jamar said, start taking your date to men or women. Start taking your date to men or women Bible study. I would hope, Jamar, that my date got his own church. Like, I'm not into, like, If he want to go with me to my church, if he want to go and see where I worship, that's fine. But I'm not trying to influence him, because I will hope that he has his own relationship and he has his own church home. And if we decide that we want to share together and go to each other's Bible study, that's good. But I don't really approach a situation like, oh, I'm a little bit further in my relationship with God, or where I am in God than you are. You can't take that attitude, because everybody have their own experiences, when it comes to like your relationship with God, with Jesus Christ. Like, don't do that, because that's a turn off when you feel like, well, why don't you come to my Bible study? No, if you want to come, great, or if I can come to yours, So Jamar said, we can't confuse lust with love. Amen to that. I agree with you. I've been guilty of that, confusing lust with love. You're absolutely right. A lot of times when we're in these situations and it's a lot of dysfunction, a lot of times it's not love, it is lust, because we don't want to be by ourselves. It's not that we genuinely love that other person, it's because we're lusting them. I agree with you totally. So does anyone else have any more comments? I'm enjoying having this discussion with you guys, but I noticed that the comments are dwindling, and I don't want to keep you on here longer than we need to be. I see people continually joining in the conversation, back and forth, and that's great. Conversation started, comments. What? Okay, somebody sent me an inbox. Okay, if you don't send me an inbox, because I can't read it right now. I'm on Facebook Live, so talk on here so I can see what you're saying. Oh, I'm tripping. It's telling me conversation started, 100 comments so far. That's great. Okay, Facebook, you got me confused. I'm thinking it's a DM or something, because I get a lot of those DMs, y'all. That's another thing I want to talk about. I get a lot of in Facebook Messenger, like from people, to the extent that I don't respond. A lot of times I don't even read them because it's so many. Right? And I'm sharing this because for the most part, it's men. And, men, they want to talk, they want to chat, they make their comments, they think you're beautiful, all these different things. And I was thinking to myself the other day, like, wow, I'm talking thousands. I'm not talking about a few. I'm talking about thousands of people in my inbox have their own idea of who I am as an individual. People I've never met, which is fine. But here I am, single. I spend the majority of my days by myself if I'm not working, or doing something. But I sleep alone every night, and I have these people who have this one idea, and that's another thing. Never look at someone else and think, oh, I wish this or this, that, and the other, because it could be totally different. A person can have an idea about who you are, and it's just an illusion. I sleep alone every night. I'm single. I'm not dating anyone, because I'm waiting. I'm not really into the dating thing. I've never really been into dating anyway. I'm kind of like a courtship type person. Like, if I meet you and, we have some chemistry, and I usually know, it doesn't take me long to know if I can share space with you and if it's going to be more. So I'm not going to waste your time, then I'll go with that. But that doesn't happen often. But I was thinking, it's just crazy how you get all these instant messages and people have this idea of who you are and all of this, when in fact, I spend every day by myself, every night alone, typically, for the most part, unless I have some friends over. So yeah, guys, that's another thing to take away, because a lot of times, and I'm guilty of it, you look at what other people have going on and you think, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. If my life was this, if my life was that. It's an illusion. It's not true. Everybody got something they're struggling with. So Jamar said marriage should be a goal for a relationship. I agree, Jamar. I wish more people felt that same, had that same belief that marriage should be a goal for a relationship. I won't engage in a relationship if marriage was not the goal. Personally, that's just me. Everybody don't want to get married, but for me, it has to be the goal if we're going to be in a relationship. So that is important, Jamar. I appreciate your comment. Is there anything else that, you guys want to share with me before we sign off? I'm excited. I enjoy talking with you guys. Well, just so you know, my next event is coming up. It's November 30th, so we still have quite, some time. But guys, it's gonna be an all male panel. Kenda said, Chanel, love this session tonight. We'll share this. Keep doing what you're doing. So proud of you. Thank you, Kenda. And guys, I want you to come to my next relationship platform here in Atlanta. It's November 30th at Sweet Lounge, but this is what I haven't released to you guys, which I'm going to release it probably within the next week or two. It's going to be all male. So ladies, get ready. And men, I hear you. It's going to be all men, no women. I'm not even sitting on the panel. How about that? It's going to be I got men from different age groups, men who have different experiences, men who come from different backgrounds. Kenneth, I went to the University of North Carolina in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yeah. So, but it's going to be all male. Now, the panel is booked. But I'm going to wait to release their names to you when we release it to everybody else. Just because I don't want to mess up nobody's name and their credentials and stuff like that. That's important because when you do a panel on, this type of platform, when you have a public platform, you got to get that stuff right. You can't be messing up people's stuff. So from a marketing perspective, I want to honor that. But it's going to be all male. So it's going to be nice. And I'm going to be the voice of the not only the single woman, but women in general. I'm going to challenge the men. I'm going to ask questions. They're not going to be able to get up there and say something crazy because I'm going to challenge it. So y'all should check it out. November 30th here in Atlanta at Sweet Lounge. We got some great people on board, great men because it's all male. And I can't wait for you guys to check it out. And I'll try to do like a Facebook Live, of the actual panel that night. I have to get one of my team members to do it. I'm not, if they agree to do it, I'll do a Facebook Live. I obviously cannot do it, but I'm going to try to get a team member to do Facebook Live so y'all can check it out. But Charles said, Kenneth said, so did I. Cool. He said, enjoy tonight, chat. Keep doing your thing. I appreciate it. Sounds good. You need to calm down, Ken down. I gave y'all 2 months in advance. It's Atlanta, so it's so much to do. So you wouldn't just be coming to see me. You'll be coming to Atlanta. So, Kenneth, he said, I was there 92 to 96. Keep doing your thing. Okay, Kenneth, I was there from 92 to 97. Yeah, I did an extra year because I had internships. Yeah. Tracy, she said, Tracy, you said, I'm going to try to make it. Tracy, you got to be there because it's all men. It's all men. So it's going to be, I wanted to close this year out because the whole reason why I started CheMinistry is because I wanted to get the male perspective. I had questions. That's why I have CheMinistry, y'all. It's not because I know it all. It's because I had questions and I wanted to be able to ask men. And what better way to ask men than to have a panel with men? But I couldn't have a panel without having a woman's perspective. So typically I have a balance of men and women, but for the finale, it's going to be all men. That's right, Felicia. Road trip November 30th at 6 o'clock. Is no reason why y'all can't be here. Especially my family from North Carolina. It's right up the road, y'all. It's not even far. Seriously. And if y'all want to overnight at my place, y'all could come and stay at my house. Bring your air mattresses because I don't have no place for y'all to sleep. But y'all could come and stay at my place. I'm cool with that. Maybe 3 of us could sleep in my bed, maybe. But then you have to have your air mattress. So, yeah. So, November 30th. Check me out. So, does anybody else have anything they want to share before I sign off? I really appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll be doing more of these. If it's something that you want to talk about, inbox me and let me know. Felicia said, I'm serious. Felicia, it's cool. You welcome. Come. You're welcome here. Come, please. So, yeah. I appreciate you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Have a good night. I'm going to post it if you guys want to watch it again. Or if you have more comments, feel free to post on this news feed and I'll respond. But until the next time, peace. Thank you, Tracy. Bye, y'all.